wrestling fans, I'm Theonemonaa at Theonemonaa, bound for glory, TNA Wrestling, the biggest event of the year here in Detroit, Michigan. I have with me the global sensation, Joe Hendry. How are you?
I'm good. I like that. I like that introduction. The global sensation. I like it.
I know. It's definitely amazing to see everything around the world. Big match this weekend.
Yes.
Everybody's eyes is on it. For you, against Nick Nemeth, World Championship belt. Tell me your feelings going into it.
Well, it can be surreal at times. It's this journey that I've been on has just been go. It's all day every day, right? So you don't really have a moment to just take a step back and appreciate what's happened. But to give you context, when I was 17 years old, I had a video iPod and I had room for one video, and that video was Kurt Angle confronting Samoa Joe in TNA wrestling. If you could tell that kid that he's wrestling for the World Championship at the weekend, I think he'd be pretty pleased. So it's surreal, and but it's also something I've worked very, very hard for.
Correct.
And it's something that there's a lot of gratitude, because I wouldn't be here because of the fans. This is something that the fans have caused, the fans have hijacked, how professional wrestling has unfolded this year in the most awesome way, and I'm delighted to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you speak about the fans, the line at Comic-Con this weekend.
Oh my, yeah, it was
absolutely amazing. I want to give credit to all the fans, because your line, I was mind blown by when I received a picture from one of my colleagues about how long it was. Now, Frankie Kazarian seems to stick his nose in this business.
Yes.
This match, he announced he wants to be a special guest referee. You and Nick seem to be a little confused about that and the decision of that. Do you really believe Nick has no idea about why Frankie's getting involved?
I think everyone is confused about that. I think everyone's confused as to why there's a special guest referee, and especially why it's Frankie Kazarian. I'm not sure who okayed that or thought it was a good idea, but here we are. I think I'm going to have eyes on the back of my head here, because I think obviously Frankie Kazarian does not like myself or Nick Nemeth, but I can guarantee he hates me just a little bit more. So, I will say this though, I do know that when my fans get behind me, there's nothing I can't do.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for all eventualities.
Yeah, of course, fans are definitely behind you, but Mick Foley had some advice.
He did have some advice.
And it was actually funny to me, because he said you need Stone Cold with a steel chair in your corner.
Yeah. So for context, I asked Mick Foley, hey, have you got any advice for becoming TNA World Champion? He says, all you have to do is just make sure you've got Steve Austin standing by to crack someone with a chair. And I was like, Mick, that's all I have to do? Why did no one tell me? So, I've already invited Eminem down to the show. I've been calling John Cena out for about a year. I've said I want a confrontation with The Rock. We might as well add Steve on. Steve, if you're watching and you have some way to get to Detroit to help me out here, hopefully Eminem's going to be in my corner. But if you've got Eminem on one side and Stone Cold Steve Austin on the other, then I don't think we need to worry about Frankie Kazarian too much.
Yeah, you know what? And I was going to touch on Eminem, because you called him out. I watched you on social media over the past couple of weeks trying to recruit him here. You do have actually a concert coming up with Jeff Hardy. Do you think we can get Eminem to join, like an 8-mile battle, like rap battle?
You know what I love about pro wrestling?
Tell me.
Anything's possible. And sometimes you have things that you'll throw out there that are a bit of a joke, and then they catch a little bit of fire, people hear about them, and you go, huh. Stranger things, Anything can happen in the world of professional wrestling.
Anything, definitely anything. With Eminem, what do you have to say your favorite song is from him?
It's tough. There's some good ones. I listened to Without Me probably 300 times in a row when it came out. That I love that one. I love the Real Slim Shady. The Way I Am is one I like very much. There's a lot of awesome hits to choose from. There's some, I'm trying to think. Business is a good one as well. I've got that in my workout playlist.
Oh, you have a whole playlist. Like, this is not even...
Yeah.
This is serious.
He's one of the greatest of all time, for sure.
He is. If you say anything different in the city, it might get you in trouble.
Well, I always tell the truth, and thankfully the truth is that Eminem is one of the greatest recording artists in history.
He definitely is. And you actually, the blonde hair, did you get inspiration from him? Because he went through like a phase of like straight blonde hair.
So I don't know if you've seen his videos, his most recent videos, but he had blonde hair and the darker beard, and I thought that could be a tag team right there.
See, so the not only rap battle tag team in your corner in Detroit, why not? I like that a lot. Now, do you have to keep up with that like every couple of weeks? The hair?
It's usually every 4 to 5 weeks. It depends on what the schedule is. It's really hard to get a hair appointment in the UK. I was in Orlando for 8 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, help, I need my hair dyed. And look, I'm on 2 national TV shows. I don't have time to be calling up about hair. So I'm going, hey, can I please get an appointment? Well, what we'll have to do first is we'll have you come into the salon and you can discuss your goals. I'm like, discuss my goals? I'm like, am I getting my hair done or is this career counseling? I know what my goals are, and it's to get my hair dyed.
Yeah,
so
you should reach out to Cody Rhodes. He actually gets his hair dyed like every week. He says it's like a whole complete upkeeping. It's like a whole.
Cody, if your hair guy or if your hair person has a free slot, then it would be much appreciated.
There you go. See, we're recruiting everybody. Speaking of music, you were number 4 on the UK charts.
Yes.
With your song.
Yeah.
You wrote it, you choreographed it. Is there a reason why it's so short?
Yes, actually, it's funny because it was when I was with Ring of Honor, I got an email that said all entrances must be 70 seconds or less. So it's 70 seconds. That is the actual reason. And then when I got to Ring of Honor, the person who was in charge of creative at the time, he was like, oh, it's quite short. I was like, but you said in the email that he says there's exceptions to the rule. So here it is. That's the legit reason as to why it's 70 seconds long. But I think it works. The thing I love about my theme song is there's an end. There's not an end to many theme songs. When you do the spin and there's silence, it gets a way bigger reaction than if the song repeats.
Correct. Now the spin.
Yeah.
Tell me like your thought process. Were you up like in the middle of the night and said, okay, I'm gonna write this song and I need to figure out my entrance? But the spin is just like the most random, and you do it in the ring when you enter too, like out of nowhere, it just comes. The spin. How did you think of that or come up with it?
All of that is just trial and error. And going, ooh, this got a bit more of a reaction. This got a bit less. We'll take that a bit away. This got more. We'll add that. Again, I did this video in Ring of Honor, and it was literally just I did like a little twist like that, and then when I got to TNA, the song's the exact same. Everything had to become bigger. Believe it or not, that shot is filmed in my living room, just in front of a $20 green screen. It's very DIY. It was like I just showed up and I was like to my brother, hey, grab the camera, let's go out for a few hours and film it. And I went home that night, just edited up, because I actually, if you look back at Bound for Glory when I re-debuted at TNA, it was like a really bad video that I filmed like just in a super rush, and I was like, oh, I need to replace that. So before the next tape, and I got home and went out and did it properly. But the first thing, I've never said this before, but if you go and look, when my re-debut in TNA has a really weird video.
Okay, then I gotta go check it out, because I didn't notice that until you brought it up.
Yeah.
But
it was like I was about to go to the airport, and I was like, say his name. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, because they have like a 10-hour loop of it now on YouTube.
Yeah, someone else is making money off of that. So I've trademarked all my stuff now, so they're gonna get a fat legal notice about that one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I'm jamming, I'm like, okay, Joe Hendry's song's not long enough, so I actually.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copyright strike it. You know how people get heat for I'm gonna go BAM! I'm gonna copyright strike it. They're gonna go, but I was making all this money. Sorry. And then what I'm gonna do is upload the exact same video. And have you ever seen like Sonic the Hedgehog when like you lose and you don't have all the emeralds and Robotnik goes? That's gonna be me.
So instead of making a remix, we're just gonna.
I'll throw up the 10-hour one.
You'll throw up the 10-hour one.
I'll throw up the 10-hour one. I'm gonna do one for. I'm gonna do a Christmas song. I'm gonna do Eurovision. We're gonna do it all.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it all. I've never said this before. This is an exclusive. One day I'm just gonna drop a completely random album.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's recorded.
What would you name it? Can I know?
Nope. Just one day, without context, I will put up a tweet announcing I'm going to drop it, and then I will drop a full album, and people will be like, what is this?
Do you know Eminem does that, right? He just like randomly just drops it.
Well, learn from the best.
See, there you go. But you said something about Christmas. You said you want to be number 1 on Christmas.
Yeah.
You also said you want to raise some money for charity.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Are we able to share?
So the charity that I'd like to raise money for is a charity called Held in Our Hearts, which is a charity that supports families who have gone through family bereavement of their children. So it's something that some of my family members have gone through, and it's the most difficult thing that you could possibly fathom.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just a charity that's very close to my heart, my family's heart. So
that's amazing. There was always so we have to definitely get you on the Christmas #1.
Yes, I will. So what I will do is we'll do it for that charity, and I think I will try and do something for Christmas as well. A lot of the time it's just trying to figure out what is actually going to gain the most utility in terms of help. So it's like, what I don't really want to do is just to, you know, there's charities that are so large that if you just make a donation, it just gets swallowed up as someone's salary, you know,
Correct.
or tax or something like that, or not tax, but you know what I mean, just admin or something. I don't really want that to happen. And the thing is, Held in Our Hearts is like it's a smaller charity, so it's like, and we know exactly where the funding goes, and it's an amazing charity, and we've seen it in action. So we're going to support that charity, but also I kind of also believe in trying to sort things out in your local area as well. So if you can, you know, the bigger things get, the more difficult it is to make an impact, if you will. So it's like, for me, it's like I live in a town called East Kilbride, which is, you know, quite underprivileged in some areas, and I know that their food banks have some issues. So maybe it's a case of, do we use the funding to supply the food bank for X amount of days? Do we do Christmas care packages? Do we do toys for families that can't afford them? I don't know at this point. It's something that I've been so busy with all this that I haven't really had time to sit down with my team and go, what's the best way to do what we're doing? The other thing is when you look at, you know, revenue streams for songs, a lot of the time they come in 2-3 months later, and that would be too late for Christmas. So it may be a case of, we pay up front and, you know, guess what we're going to raise, and then I don't know how there's business considerations with doing something like this. I need to figure out, but we are trying to figure out, long story short, the best way that we can help without the money just evaporating into, you know, like salaries and things like that.
Correct. I respect that a lot. That's amazing that you actually took your time to make sure that everybody, you know, is actually getting taken care of. Like you said, doesn't get swallowed in salaries. And you're using your platform, you're using a lot of your success. Like we talked about global sensation. With a lot of success, I always believe a lot of negativity follows. And somebody commented on a post and said, you fell off. And your response was, let's see what happens 4 months from now. Can you elaborate on that response? So
there's a lot of things going on in 4 months. Eurovision being one of them. So I thought it was a bit of a cheeky comment. So that comment just blew up into seismic proportions. So I guess, you know, it got some buzz. Look, here's the deal. I know what you're referring to. Anything can happen in the world of professional wrestling.
Correct.
The last time that I debuted at WWE, we found out the day before. So I was in LA, I was doing Chris Van Vliet's podcast, and we were waiting, I'm looking at it, and I said, Chris, you need to take me to the airport right now. Right now. Because there was one flight to get me to Orlando. And he was like, where are you going? And I had one flight home to Scotland, and I had one to Orlando. We didn't know which one I was going to take. And he was like, where are you going? And I was like, just take me to the airport, Chris. You know, I just
like no questions asked.
I just didn't know how to answer the question in that moment. And so with these things that you don't know until the last second, and for good reason. So when you make, you know, fun comments like this, anything can happen. You don't know. You're having fun, but no one knows. So that's what's very exciting about these things. This is the thing. My focus is on the TNA World Championship. My focus is on TNA. TNA and NXT have an amazing working relationship, which has left us in a situation where anything can happen in the world of professional wrestling, and it's fun to talk about that, and it's fun to speculate. Does that answer your question?
It does. It more than answers my question. It puts the internet on fire sometimes. You kind of simmer that down. But you talk about humorous. A lot of your comments, somebody even said, actually a lot of your hate comments, all you respond to is just your selfie.
It's so funny, like I cannot tell you. Did you see the McDonald's one I put?
I was just about to comment. No, it's okay. Go ahead, tell me. I want to hear it.
So basically, I've been waiting about 3-4 months to use this picture of me that someone made with a McDonald's hat on.
Somebody made it, not you.
I was
going to ask you who made it.
I had that sitting in my drafts for about 3 months, waiting for an excuse to use that. And someone said I looked like a Best Buy employee, and I was like, close enough.
It's probably the blue shirt.
Yeah, and then I posted it, and look, the person was. I do feel bad sometimes because it's like that person there then gets a lot of attention, but it's tough because their viewpoint is, well, I should be able to express my opinion, but if you're going to say I'm a terrible wrestler, then I have the right to retweet that with a picture of me working at McDonald's. I don't think that's that bad. Do you think that's that bad, Ross? No?
I don't, it's funny because I always wondered, like, you see you had it in your draft, like, is your camera roll like a bunch of Joe Hendry in the blue shirt? Because it's like, every single time somebody has something to say, bam, there's Joe Hendry in the blue shirt, there's Joe Hendry. I just wonder, like, are your camera rolls like just a bunch of selfies?
Honestly, people have asked me what my social media strategy is, and it's just chaos. It's day-to-day chaos. I don't even know what's going to happen. Like, that tweet, the one that we talked about the 4 months when I was like, like that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Let me just.
And then you look, you're like, oh god,
You literally threw up the internet.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
that.
but at the end of the day, we are in a version of the fight business. We are in the wrestling business. And it's like you need attention. You need people talking about you. And it's like people said, well, Henry, he's going to have his 15 minutes and that's that. And it's like, no, but it's my job to make sure that people are talking constantly because this business is based around stars. It just is. There are certain personalities that can cultivate attention. So every time that I get people talking, it does business for TNA wrestling. So look, sometimes you just got to crack a few eggs to make the omelet. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Now, outside of wrestling, what is like your what's the fun for Joe outside of wrestling? Like, are you into sports? I know you do music, obviously.
You want to know the answer?
Yes. No, you just travel, get out and play.
That's it.
Not even American football.
I watch zero sports. Zero. The only thing I'll watch is I will watch UFC from time to time. But the UFC has become too much of a sport for my liking. I liked it back in the chaos days.
Yeah.
I'm talking like when it was the era I really liked was the George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva era because it was like you had GSP who was just like the ultimate consummate professional dealing with these alcoholics from the Ultimate Fighter house. It was chaos, and I loved it. And I do really enjoy the UFC now. I will still watch it. I do enjoy it. So I love the big characters though, So when you get like a Sean O'Malley or something like that, like I like seeing what happens with these guys because a lot of these people are like, they had a dream and they've pursued it and they've manifested it into existence and it's very inspiring when you see people like that go on and do these amazing things and it shows you that the sky is the limit. So I do watch that. For the most part though, honestly, most of my life is on a plane right now. The thing I do enjoy more than anything is walking my dog when I get the chance. So if I've been on like, right now it's like 2 weeks at home, 2 weeks on the road and then 2 to 3 days at home. And the first thing I do, even if I won't have slept most of the time, because what people don't realize is I'll get every time I go home I lose a day. So if the show's on Sunday and I'll fly out on Monday. The international flights are in the afternoons and evenings, so I'll fly out 7 p.m. on a Monday and I'll arrive home on Tuesday. So I will lose a day and you won't have slept.
Yeah. So.
But I will get home and I will take my dog on a hike. That's just my way to reset. So that is the thing that I enjoy most.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just sitting on planes trying to pretend I'm not there.
Yeah.
Man, I could go on about travel all day.
And I don't think people appreciate how much, it's not just about the wrestling, but all the traveling that,
that is the biggest part of the job.
Yeah.
But look, there's no complaints. You can't complain because I'm getting to do something that what I'm experiencing right now. There's no rule book. Such a small, minute portion of the population get to experience something like this, and you're just trying to navigate it as best as you can.
Yeah.
All this craziness, but you have to realize that it feels like there's someone looking out for me, and opening pathways for me and doors, and everything I'm manifesting is happening, and I just have to give it my best. And there is a price to pay for the job, and I will pay that price.
Yeah, I respect all of that completely. I know that this weekend is a big weekend for you.
Huge, it's the biggest.
I'm rooting for you. I'd like to see you win the championship belt. I'm wishing you honestly all the best of luck. Hopefully we have Eminem there. Hopefully we have everybody just to be in your corner. I'll definitely be in your corner, ringside, watching you. Wishing you the best of luck this weekend
so much.
against Nick, and I hope you win the championship belt.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.